Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending upon your time zone. Welcome to the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. We're about to have an exciting conversation with a panel of dynamic women. I'm Dr. Stephanie Ardrey, and we're going to have a conversation that includes what are some of the common challenges that are being faced and are experienced as building businesses, not only domestically, but the desire to expand those organizations globally. What might be some of the challenges to entertaining those thoughts and ideas, as well as some of the significant value that these organizations are providing currently in the marketplace and where they see additional opportunities for growth. As well as a little bit of everything else in terms of what has been the inspiration for the conceiving and launching of the various ventures, and also how they expand to keep those organizations or to help those organizations remain sustainable going forward. So shortly, I'll be joined by a panel of ladies. All right. I see you all. Fantastic. So, ladies, what we're going to do is I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to introduce yourself. We're presenting brand new, start all over. So, each of you will have a quick opportunity to introduce yourself, and you can say what part of the country you're tuning in from. And then from there, we're going to talk about some of the challenges that you believe you experience in business at this point. We're going to touch on the opportunities to address some of those challenges, as well as what you think you would like to do as it relates to expanding and growing your organization internationally, and if you feel that there's any particular impediments to that desire of expanding and growing your organization. Okay? All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and start with Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. Would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. And what I do is help women to get into upper management or executive level positions. I also work with veterans who are transitioning out of the military into entrepreneurship. And the business is located in Maryland. That's am I. And we're hoping, as we take this conversation further, to take this business globally.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
All
you.
right. Next, we have Bruena Morris.
Barina. I'm
Barina.
making get it right. Barina Morris.
Barina Morris.
Yes,
Apologize.
that's
Thank you.
okay. Or
Barina, please
Superwoman.
introduce yourself.
I am Barina Morris, aka Superwoman. I am the president and CEO of Superwoman Business Services. We are a virtual office, support staff office, and we are located in the state of Florida. We do service Florida in all regions of the United States because we are virtually. And we do handle a lot of virtual tasks. We do website designing, back office support. We help and manage entrepreneurs, small businesses, and large corporate businesses with whatever you need in your back office support needs.
Fantastic and welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. So next, let's hear from Miss Eartha Hicks.
Hello, and thank you. I'm Eartha Watts Hicks. I am the CEO and owner of Earthatone Enterprises and Earthatone Books. I'm also a PR writer and affiliate for BlackPR.com, as well as executive editor for Harlem World Magazine. And I create books, my novel Love Changes. Planner is a Girl's Best Friend is my planner series, planner journal series. I also have a book of poetry and short stories, and I also subcontract for other independent authors who are looking to publish their books. And I have worked with, I would say, somewhere in the neighborhood of about maybe 10 to 15 authors, and I've helped publish over 20 books.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Dr. Smalls. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Latanya Small, founder and CEO of LT Empowerment. My organization basically empowers people to live their life with possibilities, power, and purpose. We offer facilitated learning, workshops, retreats, presentations. Basically, we just want to move a person, particularly my women. We want to move you from where you are to where you are supposed to be. We believe in the next and the level up. And so that's what we do. And I am located in the proud state of Maryland.
Well, fantastic. And I guess I should have said for me, lastly but not least, I'm Dr. Stephanie Ardrey, CEO of Zeniverse Wellness Group, where we have a collection of Medi-Spa-Tels that are either live or coming to you from Jamaica, throughout the Caribbean, UK, continent of Africa. We're covering France, Italy. We have a little pipeline of developments coming to you where we deliver wellness 1 week at a time, helping you address your mind, body, and soul. So escape, evolve, and elevate. That's what we're about. So hope to see you at one of our resorts real soon. So with that, ladies, we want to talk about business. And women in business have been growing and expanding. But there are often times when you decide to go into business, there are challenges.
Mhm.
What are some of those challenges that you may have experienced in business or are experiencing in business presently that you think a good solution would be hopefully readily available to help you not only overcome but expand beyond that particular challenge?
Mm.
That's a good
Oh, yeah, I think I have one on that one.
one.
Yes?
So
All right, jump in.
um,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the challenges early on was I was featured at the Congressional Black Caucus. And while featured at the Congressional Black Caucus, there was a connection with the bookstore at Howard University, which was a branch of Barnes and Noble. And this was early on when I was just learning about books and publishing and the whole bit. And I had won an award from the NAACP the year that I debuted. So my thought process conceptually was, oh, the book is great. It's a wonderful story, and this book is going to be wonderful and it's going to be successful in every bookstore. And the lesson, as a creative, learning now the business side of books is that you have to create the demand before the book hits the store. So with that being the case, this idea or concept that I had of just get that book into all the stores possible without there already being a demand in place, those books were circled back right back to me, and I'm literally buying back my own book, rather than have them remaindered, which means thrown in the garbage. So from the creative end, we as authors and writers, we spend all our energy into creating a great story, creating realistic characters, and creating characters that people can empathize with. And we're so entrenched in the art of it that there's a disconnect when it comes to the business side. So that was a powerful lesson in that, yeah, it's a great book and your goal is to create a great book, but really the story and the narrative is only part of the book. It's the cover, it's the presentation, it's the quality of the book, the cover and the pages. It's how the book and the story and the marketing all resonate to the readers for them to even want it, and how to grow that demand. And that was a learning curve.
Oh, you touched on one that's really so important. I think it's a critical place. I always talk to entrepreneurs from the standpoint of the 3 C's. Who are your customers? What type of capacity do you have? And are you sufficiently capitalized? And so if you lack an understanding of the consumer markets, then you'll have a difficulty in getting a product to the market, to the customer. I remember very early on in my career where I was working with an author who had self-published her book, and then she had an opportunity to negotiate a deal. We wanted to get her published with a national house. And I was able to facilitate her republishing with HarperCollins, so established house. Unfortunately, what she didn't understand is the marketing piece. And that marketing piece, that even though you can be picked up by a major publishing house, if your marketing piece is not solid, you can find yourself on the shelf waiting for someone to find interest, hoping that someone will develop that marketing plan to help bring that project to market. But giving you an advance and putting you on the shelf, that's not a big deal. It's a business write-off for them. Get in your publishing career early, at least on that particular matter. So whatever we're doing, it's important to recognize, what is it that we believe we're providing as a solution, and who are those primary, secondary, and tertiary market audiences that we're looking to support and service. Any other challenges experienced?
Yeah, as you talk about marketing, right now that has been a challenge for me, because one of the things that I'm trying to do is to create my Show Up to Rise Up Women's Network. Um, and so to do that, I'm, been trying to get the marketing done for it. And to be honest with you, I've gone through about three people that said that they, are good at marketing, and come to find out, they've not been. So I am, like I said, on my third person right now with the marketing piece. So that has been a real challenge, to find someone who gets what I'm trying to do and is able to.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, what I would
We
what
see
I
a
would
superwoman.
Let me just let you know, Dr. Madeline, you got her. She's right here. You've been through some bad, I know you've been through some bad experiences.
It's been a nightmare for me to do this because, like I said, if I want to reach 1 million plus women, what that is going to take marketing.
And it takes consistent marketing, and it has to be targeted marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that has been a challenge for me for a bit now. Yeah.
We must talk after this because
Okay.
Superwoman, you got the right person here that's going to get you to where you want to go.
Okay.
It's all about getting the right person.
And that's what I'm finding out. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm finding out.
And go
Well,
for
I like
those
to
that
also
are,
add to the conversation about marketing. Marketing requires a lot of disciplines. And
a lot of disciplines.
One of the things that you need to understand is that it's not going to be a single person that's going to solve your marketing problem. So when I used to own an agency.
Strategy.
So I had a staff of 400 employees through our 8 offices to support our clientele. So we have creative, we have strategists, we have media buyers, we have publicists, we have the technical research to make sure that whatever the product or service, the legality around the messaging, it's, the putting together because it's not only about the messaging that you're developing, but it's who should be delivering the messaging most appropriately to the particular audiences, making sure that before you even produce message, have you even bothered to focus test it? Before you see a commercial from our major clients on the airwaves, those commercials have been focus group tested with their audiences to make sure that the color, the message, the length, all of those elements are appropriate for the particular audience that you're looking to reach. And so without that information, then you're going at marketing very much ill prepared, right? And so that is, I think, the bigger part of understanding marketing. And so, yes, you're right. Everyone claims to know marketing, but very few people have been, the way we would hire marketing folks is, have you been a brand manager? Did you work for Procter & Gamble or a similar type organization where you were a chief marketing officer? Well, let me see those types of credentials. Now I know that you are at least fluent enough to begin the conversation. But that doesn't mean that you're qualified yet to know specifically what part of the scope of work you're able to actually take on and facilitate. And so a marketing team, marketing is the biggest expense for your organization. That's the biggest investment. And so you don't want to make a mistake in investing in, hit and miss shotgun approaches, because I can guarantee you will not produce the outcomes that you're seeking to produce. And it all begins in complete understanding of your markets. If you're doing B2B business or B2A, business to association, business institution, B2C business, business to consumer, whomever your segments are, you need to understand their why, because they're only interested in your business based upon the solution that your company is providing. So if you're speaking from the perspective of what you're offering and not from the perspective of what that person is searching for, because that's what a person does, is they don't go buy tires because tires are on sale today. They go, oh my goodness, I have a flat, I need to go find tires, right? And so it's at that moment that your message needs to be present when they're looking for a solution to a particular problem. So anyway, deep dive.
I'm going to say Dr. Steph is right, but remember, You are starting your company by yourself.
Mhm.
So if you can't afford a team right now, you have to work your way to that point. And it's always good to get with someone who has that marketing background, who has that seasoned information, and who has been doing it for over 30 years to help you get to that point where you can have a team. Because none of us can start off getting a marketing team and a CTO, a CFO, and none of that. We all have to wear all those hats. But instead of having to wear all those hats, if you can find someone that can wear multiple hats like me, and you're wearing multiple hats like you, then we become that team that's going to get you to where you go. So I'm gonna help you get there, Dr. Madeline.
Okay.
I just want to let you know you could do it.
Okay.
We can get you
Okay,
there.
yeah. I wanted to jump in too. And I agree with Superwoman here, because I know me when I started 20 years ago with writing. I started on a shoestring budget, and I had to find creative ways to make things happen. So at the time Vista Print was starting off, I got a lot of my marketing material from Vista Print, because in the early stages they were giving everything away. So everything had my logo on it. I knew enough to know to design my own logo, to get my own domain name, secure it. I knew enough to start building the brand that I wanted to represent for my books and to make my look distinctive. And then I also knew enough, just by simply paying attention to what I loved about everything about books that I love. So if I loved the book, I looked at the book, and then I looked at the book for more than just the content of it, but for how it was packaged. So you got to pay attention until you can afford to pay someone else to do it for you. You got to pay attention and start where you are. So I love that we have in our midst all different levels and ways to execute. We have execute for when you're starting off, execute from when you need to grow from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. We have execute from when you're looking to elevate and scale on a grander international level. So there are elements of the conversation and just who we are amongst us in this circle. We can help each other in different ways and just ideas that we never thought about.
Absolutely. What I would like to suggest that there is capital. And when you put together your business plan and you think about how to capitalize your venture, that allows you to capitalize the needs of your organization, right? And so, yes, I agree that a lot of times if you begin a business as a solopreneur, meaning you're creating a job for yourself, that's a great place to start. Don't stay there. And unfortunately, what happens is if you start there without a clear intention to scale, then when it comes times for opportunities, you're not prepared for those opportunities, because what you need to create is before you launch are your capital sources. And you can't create capital sources if you haven't explored your capital requirements. And if it is that you're looking to grow, you're going to come into a situation where your capital is not sufficient for that growth. So then if you have to go try to look for the capital and create all those plans, you're a little bit late in terms of those particular opportunities. So I
where
always
are we going to find the capital, Dr.
begin
Scott? Where are
with
we
the
going to
end
find the
in
capital?
mind. So you begin with the end in mind by first setting up what is the intention of the organization that you're creating. Who are the market competitors that occupy a space that's similar to the organization that you're creating? What is going to be the important messaging that you want to have? So to basically relate to the marketplace about what it is your business is offering and delivering. And so there's some great opportunities, in terms of leadership that you've said, working with the military, working with veterans. There's a number of opportunities. And so when you forecast what your business opportunities look like, that is how you begin to become an organization that can be capitalized.
Right. I mean, I can just share from my experience. As part of Project Enterprise, I had an executive summary as well as a marketing plan and a business plan. I won the Columbia University Business Pitch Competition. I received an IDA matching grant from Mass MoCA I'm a New York NYFA, New York Foundation for the Arts, artist, entrepreneur, and I finished their boot camp. So
Excellent.
I packaged all of the information, but it's really like, and I hate to say it this way, but this is the way I connect with that message. Sometimes it's like a scratch off lottery ticket trying to get that information in to qualify for that grant, to qualify for that business competition.
It has to fit
What
like a
you do
glove.
is, I'm
Mhm.
saying, what you do is you put your best content in one document, and based on the applications, you apply accordingly through a cut and paste and maybe even an edit of certain content, so that that application is so that your responses to the question are in sync with the mission statement of the organization or the foundation to which you're applying. But it's not as simple as I qualify for this grant, I apply for this grant by the due date, and I'm awarded. It's because by the time that grant is publicized, they're already inundated with applications. What you can do, and only thing that you can do, at least from my perspective, is put your best foot forward every single time and pray.
And I can
So
tell you, as a certified grant writer, it's not easy getting a grant, and it's best to
No.
start with the state grants before you go to the federal grants, because you'll have a much better chance of getting a state grant over a federal grant. And it
right now,
has to fit like a glove. It doesn't fit like a glove, you ain't gonna get it.
I've probably maybe won either 7 grants, maybe, and maybe 2 or 3 business pitch competitions. But it's a hard
It's a hard process,
it really
absolutely.
is. It's a
Mhm.
hard fight. It really is.
Yes.
So that is one element of how you capitalize. Let me bring Dr. Smalls into the conversation. So what are some of the challenges or structures or approaches you've used to capitalize your business?
Well, I love the conversation. And for me, one of the challenges that I've had with my business is basically, and Superwoman, you're going to love this, is building a team. Because what I have learned is that once I go out and do my services and do my presentation, the mass will come. I have to be ready for the demand.
Yes.
And that's what I know that I need help. I own it. Yes, I do. Is that I need that assistance. One time I've learned this, the last one great lesson. I was presenting at one time, and some speakers did not show. And I didn't want everyone, the audience was getting restless. What happened to the speakers? And I kept on telling them, hey, the speakers are coming, but my section was up in the later of the week. And I wasn't ready because they said, well, can't you do a segment? Yeah, I could do mine, but I was prepared for the end of the week because I like to give giveaways. I wasn't ready to do on the spot. I said, never again. Never again. Just like a minister, always have a message, always have a sermon. As a speaker, whatever you're serving, I need to know, make sure that I always have one. Lesson learned. So now I have things in my hip pocket that I can go off the cuff. I always have 1 or 2, and then another one that I can do ready on the spot. And so I had to learn. But one thing that I am a challenge and I am working through, yes, I'm working through, and I will be contacting you because I saw your lovely ad, yours, and of course, my friend, Miss Dr. Lewis, the superwoman, in terms of that virtual assistance, because you cannot do it all. As women, we always feel that we got it. I can do it. I can do it. No, take this. I know you got the superwoman cape, because I talk about that in some of my speeches. However, we don't want to drain ourselves mentally, emotionally, and financially. And so therefore I will be reaching out because I need to, I am going, I speak those things into existence. I am going global. I am going international. We are coming to a state nearby you. We may be located in Maryland, but my team will travel. And so I need to get that type of assistance. I need to get that time so we are ready. I got
All
my
right.
calendar for next year. We need to be ready to do that. And I think as women, I would like Dr. Stacy, in terms of what we're giving, what we're talking about with these, what we're leaving, is what have we learned? What have we learned on this journey? What have we learned on this journey? Because I've learned, and I again, I hats off to my friend Dr. Lewis, because there's room. There's room for all of us to be successful in the world. And we need to make sure that, hey, I got this opportunity. I think you need to come aboard. Hey, I know someone who's starting a business. Hey, I need to talk to you. My good friend,
Yep.
Miss Morris, she's already there. Hey, you want to ride? Oh,
Yep.
Miss Hicks,
Mrs.
she's there.
Hicks, we
Oh,
got
you
you.
got wellness. Hey, I got Dr. Audrey. We
Oh,
need to
yeah.
start building and sitting at the table and having these
Absolutely.
conversations and strategizing for our next.
We build our
That's
own
what we
tables.
need
We
to do.
build our own tables. Yes,
Absolutely.
we
And some of
do.
the things that I think and thank you so much, Dr. Smos. Thank you all, ladies. I don't know how we're doing exactly on time for our second segment. So you started touching again on going international. So maybe we'll use that as a little bit of an opportunity to pivot into a conversation about that. Is as earlier I was on and I had a guest, Master Chef Kidi Awadu, and he spoke to the $2 trillion opportunity on the continent of Africa. And so I'm putting together a group for a trade mission, which I've done trade missions to Dubai, across the country of Saudi. We were doing business development, so we were set up to do business there. I worked with a number of special economic zones around the country. And so the Cayman Islands Special Economic Zone was designed after the Dubai's economic zone. And Jamaica has just launched a special economic zone, which when I hear these types of zones, I know that that means global capital and money opportunities. And so the continent of Africa is being united. And so the leaders are talking about how by coming together and creating shared strategies and initiatives, they're opening up their markets as well as looking for opportunities to partner with American based, UK based, and other organizations wanting to do strategic alliances, joint ventures, and all of those things to exploit the opportunities available. So, when you hear those kinds of opportunities, what are some of the things that you think of in terms of how you might participate? And what might be things that you say, well, I need X before I can, possibly entertain that idea?
Well, just listening, I'm wondering, like, what does the trade mission entail? Is it the development of what we call brick and mortar businesses that will offer different products from different parts of the world, from people of different
Yeah.
African diasporas across the world? Hypothetically, in my instance, a bookstore that is a bookstore chain that would be in Egypt and Kenya and Senegal. Is it a bookstore? Right, the Barnes and Noble of Africa, the Barnes and Noble of Jamaica, and would that Barnes and Noble of Jamaica be looking for someone who is a Harlem writer who writes novels?
So that is the beginning step, is absolutely determining, is there a market opportunity for me? Who would be my customers? Who are my primary, secondary, and tertiary customers? So what is the profile of those particular customers? And where would I find them? See, yes, you planted, that's exactly how I look into a market. It's like, okay, what is it that I've seen that's worked in the US? Where's that opportunity? But first, let me go to that market and do some research. Let me find out what the local needs are. What is that local economy built upon? If I'm in South Africa, I know that South Africa is a very developed market. In fact, one of the wealthiest markets. I knew this over 40 years ago. When I began my journey in advertising, I knew that the largest advertising agency was based out of South Africa. So, understanding business, I used to host, I was on a board for the Port of Oakland, where international delegates would come to the US, come to Oakland, wanting to do business and wanting to see if they could forge strategic alliances. And so those of us entrepreneurs that had different businesses, products, or services that we felt could be available globally would then take those meetings and begin to structure those types of ventures. So that's the same thing that a trade mission does, is it says, let's get boots on the ground, become familiar with the market so that we could see what opportunities exist and then begin to strategize on how we might provide solutions for those opportunities that we see, those problems that need to be solved in that particular market. And so it's kind of always going back to that. Who are those customers? What kind of capacity should I put together? Should I have available? And then what type of capital requirements does that, necessitate in order for me to be able to support my business's expansion in those markets.
Gotcha. Now, is there a liaison between American businesses and those international businesses, one that could foster the introductions to the different spaces and venues that would offer our products and services?
So the U.S. offers several trade missions that are general, where they're bringing delegates to the U.S. In D.C. In fact, there's a big Africa-U.S. trade conference that happens every year. I think it happened about the first part of the year in DC. But we're going as entrepreneurs who are doing business in some of these countries and saying, hey, here are some additional opportunities. So that's how, a colleague of mine, she said, hey, let's go to the Middle East. So we put together our business trade mission, reached out to some of our contacts, set up a mission to Dubai. It was the two of us. We went to Dubai, and then we went to about 4 or 5 different countries in Saudi, and were able to start structuring business opportunities and deals. It was a biz development to see what we could turn up. And so we went to see, meet, make contacts, and then come back with those ventures. Now, what happened in my decision was, in the US, we had a change of administration. And that change of administration at the time did not warrant or make me feel comfortable doing business in the region at that point. Now since then, we've had another change of administration. So again, when you're thinking about global, you must understand, what is the political climate and how does that climate impact my business? What is the economic stance? And so when you talk about the opportunities, if you are ready to begin exploring going global, the US provides resources and funding to encourage you to go global. They would love to see us begin to export our expertise to other regions of the world. That brings GDP revenues back to this country. So there are tools. The Small Business Administration, I've been training entrepreneurs for the Small Business Administration for the last 30 years. I think I trained 5,000 in particular after the Rodney King incident in Los Angeles. And since, oh man, I'm really aging myself now. Somebody said, I was at your first workshop that you gave when you were 19 years old at the Hyatt Regency. You had Carol Williams, you had Stan Ager, you had all these folks, and it was I was teaching the marketing way back then, right? But again, it's this history of, I probably say that I know that I've trained at least 500,000 entrepreneurs over this last 30-year journey, and I still am speaking on these topics because it's so important. So going global, I think, is the way we think about sustaining ourselves. And the reason for me thinking that is, when I hear recession, and I know recession not only impacts the US, but it will impact the global markets. What I want to do is see what other customers can I find, because maybe their fiscal cycles are a little bit different. If the US is losing money right now, does that mean that the UK is losing money at the same time? Usually not, right? So you want to diversify your buckets of income, your profit centers for your organization, in order for it to be sustainable. If any one customer represents more than 10% of your gross revenues, you need to diversify your customer base, because that customer, if something happens to them, you're in financial jeopardy.
Okay,
so it's very important to think about that. And that's what global market opportunities potentially present, are additional customers that you can begin to tap into.
Okay, can you please share with us how we can go from a niche market to a global market in 5 steps that we can kind of understand?
Oh, absolutely. Because you're going to go into your global market in a niche way as well, right? So when you understand what your solutions are clearly and who your customers are. So the first thing we do when we go into any market is begin to understand, what is the demographical profile of that market? Who are the folks there in that market? And why are those folks important? What are their lifestyles? What are their needs? And how is it that my product or service addresses their particular needs. So I want to first identify who I think they are, how many, and then I want to validate, is my solution a solution that they're interested in and, more importantly, willing to pay for, right? Because you can have the best solution, but if no one's interested in paying for it, then it still does not sell, right? And so that's why you go through the process of understanding what is the business market opportunity that I'm pursuing? What type of capacity would I require to do so? So if you wanted to go into, say, the continent and you wanted to open up brick and mortar locations, the first thing that I want to know is how many existing brick and mortar bookstores exist. Where might be some valuable places? Maybe before I go brick and mortar in a retail standpoint, maybe I look into the educational institutions and say, we know that students are going to be reading books, and my book adds value in this particular way, or my catalog of authors add value in these particular ways. So first, let's get inventory in the books at each of the libraries of the universities. And then let's begin to expand into the ecosystem in that particular country. So let me find a student maybe that needs to translate the book to make sure that it's culturally relevant for the particular market that I'm looking to enter. Maybe they need to do translation. So I was assisting companies coming over from China, and we would meet with them, discuss their product, and then I would develop a strategy of how that product would need to be modified to properly compete in the US market or in whatever market they were looking to enter. So yes, it's definitely doing that foundational work, and then from there building the rest of the opportunity.
Ladies, I hate to interrupt because I will tell you this right now. This was a fabulous discussion. And if you're watching this program, we put these ladies together to become a team, and for you to be able to consult with them to get yourself to the position you need to be. So let's name everybody. We've got Eartha Watts Hicks. She's on the Harlem Writers Guild, among so many other things. Brilliance Morris, Superwoman, MBA. And then we have Dr. Small, Dr. Lewis, and Dr. Ardrey. Ladies, thank you so much. This is extraordinary. If you've been depressed or wondering, and you see these intelligent, wonderful women, you have a motivational well to come to and watch this program. Rewatch it, learn what they said. It has to be obvious for the African American community. Genius is common. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
On the other side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies. Bye, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.